Do I have your attention? Capturing attention when you're performing on stage is so important. And I spend my days watching bands, band after band, musician after musician. And at the moment, I'm seeing far too many of you giving away your lack of experience with your body language when you're performing on stage. You don't have to be jumping around the stage like an absolute lunatic unless that's what you're going for. However, you do need to hold the attention of the audience that has come to see you. It doesn't matter whether this is some kind of acoustic, intimate Damian Rice style performance or whether this is some kind of pop punk go mental type gig. Either way, you have got to hold people's attention, and there's a few ways that we can do that. Stop staring at your fretboard. This is something that drives me absolutely mental, is musicians standing on stage, playing guitar or bass, staring at their fretboard. If you have to do that, then you haven't learned the songs well enough. Your attention should be on the audience and putting on a show. If you have to look at what you're doing, then you are not ready to be performing those songs live. It's usually just a safety blanket, but it's something I see, it drives me mental, and it's just you're not engaging with the crowd. So stop fretboard staring. Every single person in this band has the same amount of responsibility of getting the crowd going as everybody else. Bass players don't get an easy ride. Everyone is there to make this an amazing gig. So I don't want to see bass players tucked away at the back standing next to the drummer. I want to see everyone at the front of the stage, eyes on the crowd, go in for it. Something as simple as eye contact is so important. I'm seeing so many musicians that are not connecting with the crowd, and the main reason is a little bit of nerves, but they're staring at the floor, or they're staring at the ceiling, or they're staring at their fretboard, or they're just staring around. They're not paying attention. Now, if this is a conversation, just like you and me having a conversation, if I'm just talking like this, it's weak, and all of a sudden, you're not going to be engaged, and I'm not going to get the point across. So something as simple as eye contact, looking at the crowd, engaging with your audience. They're there to see you. They want to be a part of this. Otherwise they would have left. So you might be nervous, but you can definitely take heart knowing that these guys, they're there for you. Otherwise they literally wouldn't be there. Where and how are you standing on stage? Now, when you're an unsigned band, you don't have massive stages. However, you have to make the most of that space. And I want to see people at the front of the stage. I want to see people making themselves look as big as possible, taking up as much space as possible. I don't want to see shrinking violets. I don't want to see people facing sideways. I want to see people facing the crowd. This kind of body language will just show experience, and it'll show power, because it'll get attention, and attention is power. Okay, two things that you can do. Number one, I want you to be videoing every single gig that you do from start to finish. So after the gig, you can analyze and improve on what it is you can do individually and as a band. And I literally would get a pen and paper and watch the whole live gig, and I would be writing points down. What was good, what wasn't good, what can we improve for the next gig? So it's continual improvement. This is something that doesn't happen. Why not? In this day and age with this technology, a phone, a GoPro, just something where you can stick at the back of the venue and record the entire band so that you can analyze it later. If you look at professional sport, that's exactly what they do. They analyze every second of every game and every single player on what they can do better on the next match. You need to be the same thing. You need to be doing this better next gig and better the gig after. Every gig needs to be better than the gig before. And number two, you should be working on this in rehearsals. Rehearsals are not just there for playing and writing songs. Rehearsals are there to actually rehearse what it is that you're going to do on your next gig, where you're going to stand, how you're going to stand, what you're going to do, like actually talking to each other about it so everyone knows what everyone else is doing. What is the front man going to say? When's he going to say it? When's the guitar changes? Why? Every detail should be in that rehearsal. You should be rehearsing your gigs just like you rehearse your songs. So on your next rehearsal, book a time where you can actually do an exact gig, a replica of a gig. And I know you're going to feel silly if you're jumping around like a loony and there's nobody there apart from the band, but I don't care, because the more you practice it, the better you will get at it. So rehearsals are not just there for writing songs and getting bands tight. They're also there for rehearsing an actual live show. So don't forget, attention is power, and I want to see that power from the second you walk on stage to the second you walk off that stage. And I promise you, the crowd will appreciate you more for it. Have a think about it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.